Welcome to Face the State. I'm Arianna Bennett. Thank you for joining us. Last year, more than 500 young people got help through the Eddy House, finding a safe place to spend a few hours, a few nights, or longer than that. And this year, they're expanding that effort even further. So Trevor Macaluso, the CEO of Eddy House, is here with me to talk about that. Trevor, thank you so much for coming back on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Well, it's great to have you, especially because the last time you were here, we talked about an expansion concept that was an idea at that time. Fast forward a year and some change, and now we are like getting close to opening it. And I don't want to give too much away because I want to talk about it more later on, but it's got to be exciting.
We're very excited about it. We should be opening in just the next couple months.
All right. Well, before we get to that, for those who don't know about you, will you just give us a quick primer on what you do?
Yeah, our mission is to create a safe environment for homeless and at-risk youth in our community to establish the life and job skills necessary for sustainable independence. So we work primarily with those who are 18 to 24 on their education, helping them get their essential documents, job skills, so that they can actually build a career and afford housing in our community with the goal that they don't become a chronically homeless individual.
Yeah, and at its base level, you are a shelter, correct?
Yeah, and that's what we offer. Is the shelter is one of those components, because so many of these kids don't just have housing. And so if we can take care of their housing, we can give them meals, a place to shower. Now they have the space to think about their education, to think about life skills, to think about, finding a job, finding a career.
Yeah, I think youth homelessness is one of those sides that people aren't always thinking about necessarily, because it doesn't look the same as this face of traditional homelessness that we're used to.
No, these are youth who are experiencing this for the very first time. Over a third of the youth we serve come out of the foster care system. We see an increase every April through June in those numbers of youth accessing our shelter because of aging out of the system and graduating from high school.
And they just don't have anywhere to go.
They don't have anywhere to go. They don't have somebody to fall back in. They didn't have a plan of what to do next necessarily. And these youth just come from a history of those kinds of experiences.
Which is really horrible to think about, the fact that we're helping them up to a certain point and then we just wash our hands of them when they turn 18.
And that's the problem, is they're ending up in our shelter when they turn 18, and why this new project that we're excited about will be a solution towards that.
Yeah, okay, so let's talk about that, since we've kind of already teased it. This is this new idea of transitional housing. I know we have some video we can show of the building. Tell me about the project.
Yeah, it's a building we're affectionately calling the TLC, or the Transitional Living Community. It's got 36 studio apartments that are a program house for transitional living, 2 years that youth can access, where the program fee only starts at $300 a month. And it increases over time, so that by the time they're there for their 18th month, they're paying roughly the market rate for a similar unit in our community. And the whole idea is we're preparing youth for what reality looks like when they do live independently in the community. And so rather than us just helping them find a career, helping them find a job and saying, hey, great, now you got to figure out a budget and go figure it out, this is a 2-year process where they get to grow alongside skills, growing their earning capacity in a safe environment where they're meeting with case managers, they're still meeting with our workforce development staff, and preparing for what life looks like.
Yeah, so then is it people who you're already serving who you're going to feed directly into this, or can people outside of your program apply, or how does that work?
Yeah, the answer is both. So we imagine many of the youth who are at Eddy House and going through our community living program and through our shelter program, that would be their eligible next step. It's our most independent of all the programs we run, but we will definitely take referrals from other agencies in town. Our staff has begun doing in-services around many agencies in town, both Washoe County Health and Human Services, other nonprofits and partners, where we're going to take referrals of youth who are ready for this program directly, where these other youth wouldn't have any other place to go. And that's what we're really excited about, is youth aging out of the foster care system as part of their independent living program. They could be moving straight from the foster system into one of these apartments and have another 2 years to really acclimate to what life looks like independently.
So you said there's 36 of them.
There's 36, and they're amazing. So they are fully outfitted. We're providing them fully furnished, a bed, a sofa, all the cutlery you need, a kitchen, everything, their own in-unit bathroom, their own in-unit washer and dryer. And we're providing everything. And the idea is that we want to make it as easy and as accessible as possible for them to, again, focus on what they need to be focusing on at this age range, right? Building your career, learning different skills, and just actually being young, as opposed to where am I sleeping?
Yeah.
Where's my next meal coming from?
Whose couch am I going to be
Who's
couch surfing on?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
which is where a lot of these youth are coming from as well.
Right, right. So 36 is awesome. How far is that from meeting the need?
Yeah, I don't think it's anywhere close. I think this is just the surface. I think between either what Eddy House does or other organizations in town, especially for youth, we need more and more dedicated housing. What's really interesting is, if you're familiar with the Fair Housing Act, it's what provides housing rights for everybody across the country, and age is not protected. So we protect people from marriage, we protect them from, if they have kids, if they have what their gender identity is, et cetera. And you can't be discriminated against any of those things when you go to rent an apartment, but you can discriminate someone for being young. And so our age population has a very hard time of just renting an apartment in our community because, you're 18, you're 19, you're going to be loud, all these assumptions are made about who they are, and so they don't have access. Well, the idea is that this gives youth a 2-year opportunity to demonstrate, hey, I can pay, and I can pay on time, and I can pay what the market rate is, and I am responsible. Eddy House can vouch for the fact that I keep my apartment clean, I'm quiet, I'm going to be a good tenant, and that'll actually give youth a chance in the community.
Really awesome. Really quickly, even if you don't need the transitional housing, may say you're a high school student, school is starting up again before too long, you're also offering a program for these younger kids who might need somewhere to go after school?
That's right, yeah, we have what's called the high school hangout. So what we've noticed is that 42% of the youth coming to Eddy House are reporting to us that they were homeless before the age of 18, and our shelter starts at 18. And so last year we started a program called the High School Hangout, where we're actually in high schools on a weekly basis during the day, during the lunch and after school hour, and available to just meet their needs, whether that is increasing their utilization of another nonprofit's resources. So, hey, here's the number for Project 150 where you can get some clothing. Here's how you can get in touch with your local pantry. Or providing some of those things, directly. You don't have the money for your cap and ground? Great, we can help you with that. You don't have, pantry items over the weekend? Okay, we can help you with that as well if your school doesn't have one already. And how do we just get the resources to these kids so they just graduate and have a plan after graduation for what their housing situation is going to be? Because again, many of these kids are couch surfing and they just don't have a safe place, and unfortunately we don't have any type of shelter in the community for these youth who oftentimes need one. There's no foster parents in our county that are willing to take in a teenager, and that's from the county telling us that. And so you have these oftentimes 17-year-olds that the county's hands are tied, they've got nowhere for this kid to go, and so they're going to oftentimes stay in this not ideal situation. And so how do we basically meet their needs the best we can until they turn 18?
Yeah, the best thing about this, I think, is that you get it early and hopefully prevent homelessness down the line. We don't have a ton of time left, but I want to make sure we get it in there. 2 minutes left. How can people help you? Do you need funding? Do you need volunteers? What do you need?
Yeah, there's some great naming opportunities available when it comes to our new building, so definitely visit us on our website, eddyhouse.org, or reach out to us at info@eddyhouse.org. We always need help with volunteers. We need help with funding, of course, and just raising awareness that we're out there and the services that we provide.
Okay, and then so again, they can go to your website, reach out, volunteer. Cash money, always good.
Always a good thing. I think we've been really lucky that we are a community-driven organization, so we rely on the wonderful Northern Nevada community that we have to make everything we do possible.
Yeah. All right, well, about a minute left. What's your final message if people are listening or watching?
Yeah, get involved. I mean, there's plenty of ways to get involved, right? Oftentimes you don't know what youth homelessness looks like, and it's couch surfing. It's folks who you don't think look like they're homeless. But ask the questions, refer them to our website, and get them connected to services.
With these young people, they just got dealt a bad hand of cards in so many cases. It wasn't like they made bad life choices. They haven't had a chance to make bad life choices yet. They just have bad luck.
I say oftentimes they've been let down by adults in their lives who either couldn't or wouldn't help them when they needed it most.
Yeah, including our own systems.
Absolutely.
All right, Trevor, thank you so much for everything you do and for taking the time.
Thank you.
Well, coming up on Face the State, there is a new president at Truckee Meadows Community College, so I will sit down with him to hear about his plans for the institution. That's right after this.